Hello, it's Dr. Bettina here from Nip in the Bud. We've had a question from a parent who said, how do I get a child who will not communicate their needs, who only talks when asked a direct question, to open up? Now, this is such a common question I get in the work that I do. And I want to start by saying, if your child isn't talking, that doesn't mean that you have failed. It means you are dealing with something very human and really hard. Actually, it can feel very personal. So I've got 5 important steps that you can take to help open up your child in communicating their needs. So the first thing I'd invite you to do is to tune in to where they are. Before getting them to talk, you need to just ask yourself, what's really going on for them right now? And this kind of reading your child's emotional state, attuning to where they are, is actually one of the most important parenting skills that there is. Really resisting for jumping in and fixing and prompting, but it's just about noticing and asking yourself that question, what's really going on for them? And then the second step is, when we're thinking about conversation, is to start small and to start really slow. Don't go in looking for a big, deep conversation. What you want to start with is looking for those spontaneous moments. Now, this often will not happen like sitting down around a table at dinner time or sitting down for a talk. It might be when you're in a car, when you're out for a walk, you might be making dinner. They may even have just wandered in to the kitchen at 10 p.m. at night. It's in those unplanned moments often where this connection can start to happen. And I think one of the hardest things for parents that I see a lot and, experience myself is that often as parents, when our child is a bit shut down from us, we try really hard to get it right. So we might plan something very special, we cook them their favorite food, or we've kind of thought all day about how we're going to phrase something, what we're going to say to them when they walk in, and then they just blank us. They give us monosyllabic answers, and it can feel really rejecting. It can even feel a bit rude sometimes. But I think it's really important to remember that part of our job as a parent is tuning in to what is happening for them. So that tuning into them, starting the conversations at their pace, the first 2 steps are really, really important place for you to start. And then step 3 is to think a little bit about your own reactions when they do open up or when they do begin to talk to you. Sometimes our kids stop telling us things because they're protecting us. And if they have seen you get quite anxious or quite upset or feel very overwhelmed when they've shared something with you in the past, they've learned, consciously or not, that their feelings are too much for us. And what happens is they go quiet. It's not them being defiant, it's actually because they care. So one of the most powerful things you can do is to show them that you can actually handle it. So whatever they say to you, try to stay calm, stay as regulated as you can. Try not to jump in with advice and worry. And you might just say, tell me a little more. Let them know that their feelings, however big, however messy, are not going to break you. It's very important that they know that we can tolerate whatever they're bringing to us. And the 4th idea is thinking about the concept of repair. Now, if you think you might have accidentally shut them down in the past, maybe you reacted too strongly, maybe you brushed them off, or maybe they felt judged or they lost trust in you because you told somebody else something they told you, then that was maybe a bit of a rupture for them, and that is partly what has shut them down. So that might need a repair. Now, you don't need to make a big thing of it, but you could simply say something like, I've noticed you don't always want to talk things through for me, and I just want you to know that I'm here whenever you're ready. Or you might say, I think in the past I may have broken your trust, and I just want you to know that if you're going to talk to me about things, I will keep them to myself if you ask me to. And they may not respond in that moment, but you've planted the seed and you just leave it there. Those repairs are a very important part of our relationship with our teens and with our kids. So the 5th idea here is a few things that I think genuinely help and a few things that genuinely don't help. The things that really do genuinely help are reducing the pressure for them to talk or to do it on your terms, being a calm and quiet presence. You might just be sitting with them, but just being with them. Maybe you offer non-verbal ways to connect with them. Maybe you send them a text, but it's just gently giving them that nudge and reminding them that you're there. So you might watch something together, you might go for a walk, you might join them in a game that they're interested in. Sometimes just sitting next to them actually says more than any question could. I certainly, in the later teenage years with my kids, if they wanted to live somewhere, I would usually try to do it. Because often it was in the car when you were doing them a bit of a favor, when you were taking them somewhere, that they would begin to open up. Things that really don't help, well, firing lots of questions at them doesn't help. Getting frustrated when they don't respond, I know it's hard, but that will shut them down more. And saying things like, oh, just calm down, or if you don't talk to me, I can't help you. Now, what those comments and behaviors do is actually start to close the door rather than to open it. And remember that you are always strengthening your relationship with your child however you can. It's a bit like a car. Your relationship needs regular maintenance or it's going to break down. You're trying to build the conditions for communication every day, not just in the moments when things go wrong. And finally, remember, teenagers are a little different to younger children. They often can be less communicative. They can often go through a phase of being quite quiet and feeling like they're retreating a bit from you. That's very normal. Teenagers are carrying a lot. They're trying to do this autonomy. They're trying to do things on their own terms, trying to do it their way a little bit. And they may retreat or kind of give you one-word answers. Expect that, allow it, know that this too shall pass. And it's not the time in your relationship for long heart-to-hearts, perhaps. It's maybe just about being someone that they know they could come to when they're ready. When things feel calm and regulated, never in the middle of a difficult moment. So you might say something like, if there's anything that you want me to help you with next time, you know that I'm always here if you want to talk things through. Those things really matter, even if they just give you a grunt back. You don't need to do this perfectly. You just need to keep showing up. So really good luck with that. I think it's a very tricky problem. It's a very common problem. Know that there are many other parents experiencing it too. Take it slowly, and I wish you really good luck. And if anybody has any more questions for Nip in the Bud, please do drop us a line. We're always happy to give some tips and ideas where we can.